Here's the shocking truth about the next-gen Xbox. What is up, y'all? I'm Ray, and this is my channel, Xbox Ready, where we get on and we talk about Xbox stuff. The latest news, rumors, games, accessories, accessories. Woo! Starting off strong here. Pretty much anything I want to talk about as long as it's about Xbox in some way. Now, there are a few things that fans of video games can always count on. Number one, Jeff Keighley is always going to have one more game to show. Number two, never bet on a hero shooter, and every 7 or 8 years max, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo are gonna give us new consoles to play and talk about. But times, they are changing, and we could very well be in a situation where we're waiting until 2030 for the PlayStation 6 and the next-gen Xbox. And it's all thanks to the technology that no one asked for, artificial intelligence. AI has been slowly growing in power. It used to be a joke. Oh, look at this crazy video of Will Smith eating spaghetti. It looks like absolute shit. It looks clearly like AI. But year after year, it gets more advanced. It gets integrated more into our everyday lives. And of course, it takes up more power and resources. The rush for all of these major tech companies to have their own AI servers and services and tools has led to the construction of these massive AI data centers, which require not only a lot of power and water, but also components that we need in our consumer technology like consoles, laptops, and phones. How is that going to affect the price of our consoles and all of the other tech that we've come to know and love and depend on? We've already been hit with 2 price increases over on the Xbox side that seems to be independent of this whole AI RAM shortage thing, so everyone is afraid that we're gonna get hit with another one. What's shitty about this entire situation is that this boner that all these tech companies have for AI and investing in it doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. Micron is saying, hey, shortages are gonna last through 2026, definitely into 2027, so buckle up, buckaroo. And while we're thinking, oh, this is gonna increase the price of the PlayStation 6 or the next-gen Xbox, well, what if I told you AI and the RAM shortage and the component shortage that it's causing, it's actually not gonna just raise the prices of those next-gen consoles, it's gonna delay them entirely, prevent them from coming out at all. Tom Henderson, recapping what was said in an earlier podcast from Insider Gaming, says, from what we've heard, the industry as a whole is concerned about RAM availability and what that is going to mean for mass-producing consoles at a competitive price point, not only for the next generation, but it could also mean that yet more price increases for the current gen consoles will hit us in 2026. He goes on to say this puts console makers in a very tricky position, and that platform holders, which are at this point used to just, subsidizing their consoles, just, selling it to people even at a loss to get their foot in the door and make sure you buy their games through their storefront, that even with subsidization, it's going to result in huge price increases that will be passed along to the consumer. He goes on to say, from what we understand, the situation has led console manufacturers to debate whether the next generation of consoles should be delayed from their intended 2027 to 2028 release window, with the hope that RAM manufacturers will chill the out. So worst case scenario, they're like, okay, we're gonna sit with the Series X and S until the RAM prices come back down and we can release the next-gen Xbox or the PlayStation 6. But at the very least, we're gonna see even more price increases to consoles across the board, not just Xbox, but every other platform. Here's why that puts Xbox in a particularly troublesome spot. Everything that we've been seeing from Microsoft and Xbox, from the outside looking in, it seems like they're trying to move on from the Series X and S. Extending this generation of consoles doesn't seem like something that they want to do. Sales of the Series X and S plummet year after year after year. People are still buying them. In 2025, it looks like they sold just over 2 million consoles, but that's like a 40-45% drop compared to the year before, and a drop in the bucket compared to their competitors like PlayStation and Nintendo with their consoles. And I can only assume that's going to continue to go down, especially with these price increases that they just hit us with. You have to wonder, if they have to increase the prices any further, do they even bother manufacturing these Gen 9 consoles? Before all of this RAM shortage AI craziness, there were reports saying that we could see a new Xbox console as early as 2026. The strategy being, okay, if we get a jump on the PlayStation 6, we can give this new Xbox some legs. And that next-gen Xbox, it's not just another console. It's a symbol for the direction that Xbox is going in. This promise of flexibility, of power, of, combining the best parts of of PC and console gaming, years of expertise going into this new shiny console, the likes of which we've never seen before. Everything we'd been hearing about Project Magnus sounded really cool, minus like, you know, the expensive part of it. And in the back of my head, I was like, I want to buy into the hype, I want to buy into the excitement, but damn, this has a lot of memory, a lot of RAM, significantly upgraded from the Series X and S consoles for sure, more powerful than the PS6, but like, how are they gonna get all that with AI gobbling it all up? Xbox leadership, they've been talking a big game about their new hardware specifically. It's gonna represent the largest technological leap in generation history. It's gonna have multiple storefronts powered by these fancy AMD chips that will have MPUs, all sorts of cool stuff. It's gonna be a premium, high-end experience. It was the perfect thing to inject some new life into Xbox, for them to double down on this new ecosystem-focused direction and give them some momentum heading into next generation when they sorely need it. And now all of that is up in the air if they have to delay these consoles into 2029 or beyond, or whenever these RAM prices decide to come back down. So what is the next move for Xbox? Well, the next move is kind of the moves that they've already been doing, the moves that everyone has been clowning them for, expanding Xbox to other hardware. If they're not selling Series X and S consoles at the clip that is needed for sustained growth, you might as well triple, quadruple down on the whole everything is an Xbox thing. Now, my problem with the whole this is an Xbox thing is that they seem to be totally fine with saying, okay, this is an Xbox as long as it can access our cloud gaming servers. And as an Xbox purist and Xbox snob, that's not gonna cut it, right? Because, okay, even though this phone, I can play Xbox games on it, there's so many other things I can do on my Xbox that I can't do on my phone. It's not equivalent. What I really want them to do is bring the Xbox console dashboard experience everywhere. And with cloud gaming, you can already sort of see how they're trying to do that. Now that they've integrated social features, game chat, being able to manage your saves. If you open up the cloud gaming dashboard, it looks like, okay, this is a gaming dashboard, no ads like on my Xbox console. It's actually pretty cool. And beyond that, the work that they're doing with the full screen experience is going to be the key for a lot of this stuff, making it through these troubled times. It may not be when they wanted to do it, but circumstances have forced their hand. The full screen experience only just officially launched back in October with the release of the Xbox Ally handhelds. And the consensus was like, okay, this is great, but they still have a lot more work to do. At the partner preview though, they seem to have escalated that timeline just a little bit by releasing the full screen experience for other handhelds. If you are a certain level on the Windows Insider preview build thing, you can also put it on your desktop PC as well. And right now, if you have a Lenovo Legion Go, they just implemented an update to better support the full screen experience and make it just like an Xbox Ally. In theory, this should lead to better performance, more intuitive controls, and then also being able to access the Xbox Game Bar a lot easier. Once again, I'm a little bit worried that they're rolling it out just a little too soon. First impressions are everything, right? And if you have a Lenovo Legion Go or any other gaming PC handheld and you're really excited, you boot up the full screen experience and you experience any trouble with it, that's going to go a long way in altering people's perception and just limit people's trust in your brand. Why should I use the full screen experience when I can use SteamOS or something that's been cooking for a long time and is like this finished product? Xbox really needs to get into the lab with this. They're doing the work, but there's still some blips here and there. I'm using my Xbox Ally X to play Hades 2 right now. And one of the big draws of the full screen experience was being able to see all of my Steam games in the Xbox app, even launch them from the Xbox app. That feature alone was something people were really excited for. Oh, I can launch my Steam games through the Xbox app. Oh, the next Xbox is gonna have Steam on it. But right now, while I can do it, yes, it's a little bit awkward, it's a little bit clunky, it takes a little bit longer than if I just switched on over to Steam and launched Hades through that. Other people have been reporting problems with sleep mode using the full screen experience on the Xbox Ally X. And there's also times, and God help me, I don't know why this is, but the interface using the controller with the full screen experience, especially an external controller like my Xbox wireless one right here, it just won't work. Like, it won't navigate. I can't use the buttons. Like, I'll be able to pop out for the guide, but like, I'm trying to press continue on my playthrough for Hades 2 and it's not working, and that pisses me off to no end. It's a small inconvenience because like 90% of the time, I'm having a great time with my Xbox Ally X, whether it's in docked mode or handheld. But like, if you're gonna make a video game console, especially one that costs as much as this, things should just work all the time, not just 90% of the time, all of the time. And while it's a definite improvement over what we used to have on Windows handheld gaming devices, it's still got a ways to go. But if they really nail it with the full screen experience, hopefully change the name, for God's sakes. This could be instrumental in Xbox's efforts to expand to multiple platforms. Make this the standard that we see on everything that is supposed to be an Xbox. And it's really gonna take shape as they continue to add games to Xbox Play Anywhere and the stream your own games thing. If you can't really sell consoles because of the price, if you can't really manufacture consoles because of the price, as much as people want to say Xbox is dumb for going multi-platform, Xbox is stupid for partnering up with Asus and making their own version of an Xbox, it may actually work out for them, at least in the interim, as they wait out these RAM shortages. My concern as an Xbox fan, as a console fan, is that, well, these RAM shortages go on for so long, Xbox eventually just gives up hope and really does stop making consoles. That's more of like a Microsoft decision, but I think it's totally realistic. I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibility for Microsoft to stop making Xbox Series X and S consoles, especially if they continue to decline in sales as they have for the past couple of years. And as the Xbox Series X and S start to disappear, then you really have no momentum, no leg to stand on in terms of convincing people to buy a next-gen Xbox, Project Magnus. There may be a silver lining in this news for some people, because every time I talk about the next-gen Xbox, Project Magnus, especially the possibility that would release in 2026, there's a group of people that are just not happy about that. They're like, what are you talking about, man? Why are we talking about the next Xbox when I just got my Xbox a couple of months ago? And there is something to be said about, okay, really just like the major first-party studios are just now focusing on the Series X and S. They're leaving behind the Xbox One. And that's not even a blanket statement across the board. There are still plenty of studios making games for the PS4, for the Xbox One, for the first Switch. There's a real argument to be made that we haven't truly seen the power of the Series X, especially. You also have to think about, like, okay, if these consoles are getting delayed, when are Xbox game studios gonna get their hands on the dev kit for Project Magnus? Is it really that important, considering it's just gonna be like a high-end PC type thing? If we're assuming that Xbox is trying to move on from the Series X and S, like they're still gonna support it, whatever, with the games and stuff, you'd have to imagine that if that's their mentality, you'd want their game studios to move on to the next thing as soon as possible. But then again, the next Xbox is supposed to be a PC, running PC games and then using some sort of emulation or something to run Xbox console games. So maybe it's not that important. They just tell their devs, okay, like here's kind of the general target area in terms of like the PC equivalent. Pretend like you're making your game for that. No matter what, this whole AI RAM shortage, it just sucks. And of course, the irony here is that Microsoft is so gung-ho on AI, despite the fact that people are like, no, we don't want Copilot. No, we don't want AI in Windows. I don't care. They're investing billions into AI, absolutely contributing to this RAM shortage, and in a roundabout way, setting back the entire gaming industry. This whole situation has led to a lot of questions for fans of gaming, questions that I would rather not talk about or ponder at all. I would rather be talking about, like, here's what we can expect from the next Xbox, definitely coming out next year. Can't wait to have it in my hands. Can't wait to play it. Can't wait to show you guys. At this point, though, I might be waiting 4 years minimum to make those kinds of videos. Anyways, guys, that's all the Xbox stuff I got to talk about today. Thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Xbox Ready. If you made it this far into the video, consider subscribing. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.